Thank you guys for tuning in for another video. Before we get into the video, let me know if you guys like this setup. This is a new setup that I just put together, so hopefully it looks good in camera. But before I start the video, I also wanted to let you know that I want to work on a very well put together video about just being a DACA dreamer. Include my life experiences. If you guys have any stories, if you guys have any insight of what being a dreamer is, because I'm gonna tell my story on my end, but I want to be able to put in there other people's experience. So I want to make a really good, almost cinematic documentary type of uh, of video, as far as dreamers in DACA, so the whole world can see who we actually are. And I know I'm putting a lot of pressure on myself right now because making a cinematic video, it does require a lot of editing, a lot of good shots, a lot of time. So it's not gonna come out like next week, the week after. I'm gonna try to make it as best as I can, and then just to I'm just very passionate about being a DACA dreamer, how it was, how it affected my life when it happened, and I just want to put all that together. So let's go ahead and get in the topic of the video. Like I said, if you guys have any stories, if you guys want to share your story, so I can put up some of that in my video, you're welcome to do so. My email will be in the description, and or not. I'm not gonna put my email in the description because I feel like that will get a lot of unwanted emails. But yeah, just comment down below, and we will introduce that video or announce it when it will come soon. So without wasting any more of your time, I did put some notes here for myself. I'm trying to really make this channel a positive place. Just overall, I want this channel to be something you guys can look forward to. I'm going to talk about personal development, just being a better version of myself. We're gonna maybe add some vlogs here and there. I'm not really too sure how I'm going to structure this channel. All I know is I want to help people out with whatever it is, positivity, whatever. But anyways, let's get to the topic of the video. Life in limbo every 2 years, being DACA, being a dreamer, right? So the first, and I'm gonna be all over the place, so kind of bear with me. Sometimes a lot of things come into my mind that I want to talk about. So the first one is the life of a dreamer, and our jobs are always uncertain because we just don't know if it's gonna end, what's gonna happen. And every 2 years, whenever you first get your permit, you're happy. It's that relief. It's like everything is just back to normal, no stress and everything. The good thing about DACA now and the renewals is you can do everything online, so you can submit everything. And now that they have your biometrics, your fingerprints and stuff like that, it's very easy for them to process your documents. But yeah, so after it renews, you have this sense of peace, and of, hey, I have honestly about a year and a half more, because you have to renew 120 days before it expires. But basically, it's just a feeling of peace, knowing that you still have more time to do whatever, invest, work, save money, whatever it is that you need to do. And so another thing is, sometimes it does take a little bit. Some people get approved in 2 weeks. Some people get approved in 6 months. Some people are still waiting for the permit. And sometimes their work fires them because HR, finds out and sends them an email saying, hey, if we don't get your work permit or whatever, we're going to have to let you go. Now, I've never ran into the issue of having it not renewed on time. I'm always applying in the time, and I'm not saying that will guarantee it, but 95% of the time, if you do it in the order or in the time frame, it gets approved before it expires. But I've read and I've heard from some people that that it still hasn't gotten approved, and it still hasn't been there, so they get fired, and they have to. It's a whole ordeal. And if you guys know, the economy, inflation, and things like that, there's a lot of things right now that or a lot of people right now that are living, paycheck to paycheck. And another, it comes to my number two. I have one, two, three, four, five, six, seven things that I kind of just jotted down. It comes to number two, having to have that money aside every single time. It was at first I think it was 475 or 465, something like that. Right now it's up to $600. And so every single year you have to make sure that you have that money with you. If not, then you have to get into credit card debt, whatever. But at the end of the day, all the dreamers, we know this. We're gonna pay it no matter what, because we need that job security. We need that permit to renew again. So it's just a money pit. And as I spoke in my previous videos, if they really wanted to, make a lot of money and the U.S. get out of some of the messes that they have financially, a pathway to citizenship, the dreamers are going to pay what they're going to ask for. I mean, at the end of the day, those are facts. It's true. We're just trying to have something permanent here in the U.S. All right, so that was number two. And number three is just just being afraid that it'll get rejected as far as your application. I haven't heard of anybody getting their application rejected unless they've been in some trouble with the law, or DUIs, things like that. But even then, like, even if you've done everything correct, even though you've done everything that you have to and you're not getting in trouble, you still have that fear of, what if something happens? What if they just reject it for no apparent reason? Like, it's such a fear that we've had, since 2012, that I've had, me and my sister. That's the time that we got our DACA. But we didn't it was always that fear of, is this going to be renewed again? And so it's tough, man. I just can't explain the feeling, because only dreamers, or only people that have the work permit, that have to renew every 2 years, we're the only ones that can understand it. Hopefully somebody else understands it. But I just wanted to give my point of view of things, of being a dreamer and being in limbo for every 2 years or 1.5 years. And so it comes to number four. We just went over number three. Number four, it just prevents you from planning things in the future, because you're always thinking of, what if it doesn't get renewed? What if it doesn't get renewed in time? Now I'm going to be at a job. So it prevents you from building or planning your future ahead. So it's just a lot of things that come into it, man. And it's one of those things that I'm grateful. I'm grateful to God, and I'm grateful to, the U.S. and the officers that process my application, that it's always approved, and I always have the ability to, if something happens, I can go back into trades that I used to work in, like plumbing, things like that. Like, it's not the end of your life or whatever, but if you're building a career at a company, it definitely slows you down and things like that. So that's number four. Number five is just renewing your license, depending on your permit. I remember one time I did renew my license, and every time you renew your license, obviously they ask you for, your papers, about your permit, things like that. And your permit does say every 2 years, so you have to renew your license every 2 years as well. And they have the same dates of the expiration for your EAD card, your employment authorization card. And so I remember one time I got I think it was a 5 year license, and I was so happy. And I was like, I'm just gonna run with this. I'm not even gonna say anything. I'm just gonna run with it. And I thought I had made it, right. License for 5 years. I have to renew every 2 years. And then I think a week after, they called me saying, hey, I think we made a mistake. If you want to come back in, so we can reissue your license for the amount of time. And I was like, oh. But anyways, it was the right thing to do anyway. So I went back, got it. They reissued it to me. So that's that. Now another one is fear of deportation if DACA ends. We just don't know. We just live in fear all the time about, if it ends. They already have all your biometrics. They have everything. They have all the fingerprints of all 10 fingers, bro. Like they have everything. They have your address, they have your employment, like they have everything. If they wanted to end it and they really wanted to do that, they could find you. But I feel like we would already be, I would voluntarily uh leave and try to do my life in Mexico. I'm not saying it's impossible. I'm just saying this is the country that I've known all my life. Why would I want to move? It's like kicking you out of something that you've been comfortable with and saying, okay, you know, this is another country that you're gonna live on now, and it is what it is. That's kind of like how it is. And so that's the fear that we go through. So that's number six. And then the seven is just kind of basically a general kind of like view that it's just basically you just feel like you never have your life together. You just always feel like you can't and you won't have your life together just because it's indecisive. Like there's no future for it. But hopefully, Trump gave the interview. Hopefully, he's being truthful. Biden had the most of the power, and it just nothing happened. And now he says that he wants to work with the Democrats. He wants to keep the Dreamers. He wants to. I feel like he does have that soft spot about like, hey, most of these dreamers have lives now, have businesses, are older. I'm about to be 30 in about well, I'm gonna be 29, but I mean close to 30, and we have our lives here. I mean, we have our lives together. I have a career and everything, but I just wanted to come on here and kind of just go over uh what it is to be a dreamer and what kind of issues that we face or fears that we face, because not a lot of people know about dreamers. Not a lot of people know that sometimes it could be your neighbors, sometimes it could be your friends, sometimes you never know. So it's good to be informed, so that way all the facts. So anyways, thank you guys for watching. More videos coming soon. And like I said, if you guys have stories, if you guys have anything that you guys want to share regarding your DACA experience, let me know. I am super motivated, super pumped about just creating something about being a dreamer. And I've always liked just making cinematic videos. Sometimes I do record or film weddings, and I do photo shoots, things like that. And I feel like now that I'm on this topic and this channel, and something that I'm just passionate about, I feel like putting everything together with my skills and everything. Obviously I'm not like a pro or whatever, but I try to make things look good on video. So yeah, let me know what you guys think. Let me know if this was informative. Let me know if there's any topics that you want me to cover. But that's it. Thank you guys. Stay blessed. We'll see you guys in the next video.